Looks like we're on. Good morning, everybody. Let me get to the top of my words here. Good morning or afternoon or evening, wherever you're watching from. It's been a busy last couple days. Okay. Good morning, everybody. Let me get to the top of my words here. All right. I forgot I had something running in the background. All right, let's try this again. Been a busy last couple of days. Yesterday was no exception. Life is what happens when you've made other plans. We have a short menu today, so I'll leave links to a couple of those previous episodes for August 23rd in case you'd like to see more than what I have for you right now today. So from here, I'll tell you what I have to tell you about, and we'll meet back here before we hit the outro. Okay? Good morning, Dog Bite and Teresa. All righty, here we go. Hi there, and welcome to This Day in History for August 23rd. August 23rd is the 235th day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, 236th in leap years, with 130 days remaining to the end of the year. Today's word is chisel. Chisel can be a noun or a verb. As a noun, we usually think of chisel as a metal tool with a sharpened edge at one end used to chip, carve, or cut into a solid material like wood, stone, or metal. As a verb, chisel means to cut or work with or as if with a chisel, or to work with, or I put the same words in there twice. As in, the sculptor skillfully chiseled the wood to create a beautiful design. Interestingly, the metaphor of cutting into something has led chisel to have a meaning of employing shrewd or unfair practices, or to thrust oneself into a place or situation, to intrude, as in, she chiseled her way into the conversation. The word chisel has evolved to us through Anglo-French, where it meant scissors, Latin before that, where it meant cutting tool, ultimately from Proto-Indo-European, where it meant to strike. First known use of the word chisel is in the 1300s. Chisel. And as a side note, I've noticed that we don't see much of first known use words before the 1300s, and that might be because writing came into effect about that time. That would really require further research to know that for sure, but that's what I think. All righty. This was a fun one to research, and if you have a word you'd like to see in this Word of the Day segment, drop it in the comments, and we'll get it on the list. Sometimes it takes a while to come around into rotation, but I do add them to the list when I get them, and we'll get around to them at some point. And with that, this is the birthday of English drummer, songwriter, and producer Keith Moon, born August 23rd, 19... I put 1946 on the title, but in the writing here it says 1947. Well, he was born in 1946 or 1947 in Wembley, Middlesex, England. Considered to be one of the greatest drummers in the history of rock and roll, he occasionally played with other rockers, but considered playing with The Who to be his main job. One time, Ringo Starr asked him how he'd joined the band, and he said he'd just been filling in for the last 15 years. Keith Moon was quite a character, wild and restless, and certainly unconventional. Sometimes in the studio, he could be such a cut up, making his bandmates laugh around the microphone while they were trying to sing vocals, that he would be banished from the recording studio so that at least they could get those recordings done. For as amazing as he was as a drummer, Keith Moon is also remembered for his destructive and self-destructive behavior with substance abuse and destroying hotel rooms and people's homes. Some of that behavior seemed to be motivated by a desire to shock people or make them laugh. He was the ultimate attention seeker. His over-the-top behavior certainly got him some attention, all right. In 1978, he decided he wanted to get sober, and he was so bad he needed a medical detox. But he was terrified of psychiatric hospitals, which apparently is where one got a medical detox in that time. He managed to get a prescription of a particular sedative that was often used to get people through alcohol withdrawal to help him detox. Unfortunately, he overdosed on the pills that were supposed to help him get sober, and that overdose proved fatal. Keith Moon died in September of 1978 at the age of 32, which tells me that the 1946 birthday is probably correct. Just a reminder here that we have a playlist of episodes for this day in history, as well as a playlist of single subjects called How About That? And words of the day in a playlist called There's a Word for That. And I'll leave links to those playlists for you, as well as the links for the previous episodes for August 23rd in the description. Today's song is Who Are You by The Who. Written by Pete Townsend and produced by Glenn Johns and John Astley, Who Are You is the title track from The Who's 8th studio album released in 1978. The album Who Are You was released in August of that year, the last album released before Keith Moon's death 3 weeks later. Ironically, you might notice the phrase, "not to be taken away," stenciled on the back of the chair in which Keith Moon is sitting there, near the middle of the image. Who Are You was one of the band's biggest hits in the U.S. back then. It's still quite popular. It's frequently featured, gets mentions in popular culture. If you're a fan of the TV series CSI Crime Scene Investigation, you already know it's the theme song for that show. There are several edits of the song. The original album version, which is the longest at 6 minutes and 20 seconds. Then there's a single edit that clocks out at 5 minutes and 1 second. And then a U.S. single edit at 3 minutes and 24 seconds, edited for length and language so that it could be played on American AM radio. As many songs do, Who Are You actually draws from life. Pete Townsend had been out with some friends, maybe had a bit too much to drink, and actually did pass out in a doorway where a policeman found him. The policeman happened to recognize him, and as the opening lyrics of the song go, the officer said he'd let him go home if he could get up and walk away. Who Are You was actually released as a double A side single, but Who Are You turned out to be the more popular song of the two, and here we are. Who Are You by The Who. Link in the description. Alrighty, no outtakes today because they stay in the body of the work. Hi, Pancakes, Braxton. Let's take a look at these. Yes. All right. Well, alrighty. I want all of you to have a wonderful day and a great weekend. We're going to have reruns this weekend and a fresh new episode Monday. Let's see what else we need to see. All righty. Thank you so much for tuning in and letting me know you're here. It means a lot. Y'all are wise, still do this. Alrighty. Yes, thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day and a great weekend. And I'll see you next time. And I think that's going to do it for us today. Thank you so much for watching. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Feel free to share this video with the link in your email, messaging, or social media. If you enjoy this series, you can check out the playlist that contains these videos. I'll put a link to that in the description. That description lives on YouTube, so for other platforms, I'll include a link to my blog page called No Really. You can also find me on Rumble, BitChute, and Odyssey. All those links in that description. Alrighty, that's all I can think of right now. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time. Alrighty, back to work. I think we got it this time.